evening and welcome to the best evening talk show in the capital, The Dish. My name is Miriam Uduaka-Mensah, your host, and we're going to be having great conversations right here on the show. If you're just joining us for the very first time, or if you're watching this show for the very first time, you have been missing quite a lot. But today, we're going to get into a big conversation. I have asked that, listen, when it comes to conversations on mental health, it's imperative for us to put in a little bit more effort. And so for me today, I am excited that we're going to be touching on this conversation right here on the show this evening. Again, I want to say a big thank you to DecoZone for giving us this beautiful set to have this conversation every single week. If you want that house to be a home, I'm encouraging you to get into DecoZone. Just jump or slide into their DMs on social media and they'll give you the best setup in your home. From small little things that will make your home very beautiful, they have got it all right there at DecoZone. I want to say a big thank you to Betway, Cowbell Coffee, Floral Tissue, washing, Tango washing powder, Telecel, Club Shandy, and LPG. But let's get into something that we all want, something that we all desire to have, and that's success. Everybody wants it, everybody dreams of it. We all aspire to succeed and make a mark in life. We push ourselves to excel, enduring challenges along the way just to be successful. Charlie, when work gets tough, and I bet it will, you need that extra boost to keep pushing forward. And on those days where you need someone to be there for you, Cowbell Coffee will be by your side. It's a rich, creamy 3-in-1 blend with a great taste and aroma that will kickstart your day. So whether you're working or just creating amazing memories with your friends and families, and of course loved ones as well, Cowbell Coffee will be there with you every single moment. So no matter where you are at, as you chase after those goals, keep Cowbell Coffee close to stay motivated and going. Remember, Cowbell Coffee is with you every single moment. And I keep saying this, listen, this entire year, we here at MX24 have embarked on a very beautiful journey to study and to educate all of us about breast cancer. Now, we're about to crown it up with something even more exciting. It's on. Join us for the Cross It Out concert this October as we climax our year-long breast cancer awareness campaign with a thrilling concert with your favorite female artists. Mark your calendars, for Friday the 18th of October 2024 from 6 p.m. at Alliance Française, Accra, Ghana. Performing live will be sensational Ifya Feli Nuna, Titi Owusu, Maya Blucha, Utah, Dakoa, Senti, S the Legend, Kiki Celine, and DJ Nice, backed by the Afro Harmony Band and hosted by Ghana's favorite twins, Lali and Lola. Together, we're crossing out the risk, fear, and stigma attached to breast cancer by raising funds for our annual breast cancer outreach and treatment campaign, Cross It Out. Now for tickets, dial *365 *88 455 hash or visit mx24.app/crossitouttickets. You can also get free tickets, yes, free tickets, okay, from the 15th by getting a free breast cancer screening at any of the branches of our official hospital partner, Life Check Health Center. No, that's Life Health Center. Go ahead, set a reminder, get screened, and cross it out. The Cross It Out concert is supported by Floral Tissue, Top Choco, Tango Washing Powder, Mac Felix Foods, IBM Petroleum, and media partners are YFM, and that is Pink on Y. Let me remind you that this is an interactive show, so send in your comments and reactions to every single conversation we have here on the show, and you can send it on our social media platforms. It's MX24 on all social media platforms, and the hashtag is The Dish on MX24. Now let's get into the conversation this evening, and the topic is prioritizing your mental health. I know you've heard it. You've probably had conversations about it with your friends and family. Well, today we're going to dissect. My friend will tell you, kekeshiate the conversation. So let's get into it. In today's fast-paced, always connected society, it's easy to get caught up in the relentless pursuit of success, perfection, and validation. We're constantly bombarded with expectations from family, friends, social media, and us, social media, especially guys, social media, and ourselves, of course. But amidst the chaos, it's crucial to remember that our mental well-being is just as vital as our physical health. The truth is, mental health affects us all, and we've all experienced stress, anxiety, feelings of overwhelming, in fact, feeling very overwhelming at some point. Yet society stigma and shame often prevent us from openly discussing our struggles. It's time to break down this conversation, to break the silence. Prioritizing your mental health is not a luxury, it is a necessity. In fact, it's no shame talking about how stressed you are, how depressed you are, how you cannot do it anymore. And today, to have the conversation, we have Anania. Okay, oh God, Mimi, when? Anania, she is, come again? She's a clinical psychologist, and of course, at Equilinks, yes, Equilink Counseling and Psychological Support. Your licensed clinical psychologist. Yes. And you also have in the studio Rebecca Lai, mental health advocate. Also, will be joining us later is Natalia Andor. She's a media personality and counseling psychologist as well. Ladies, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening.
You're fine. You guys you really look like clinical psychologists. Very. The conversation on mental health has become a conversation that, I think sometimes when we talk about it, it looks as though we just, again, found a fancy name for something that probably is not even real. People invalidate this conversation so much because, again, we think that, this generation is so entitled to so many things, just want to feel so entitled. I don't know if you've gotten that vibe from it. You've gotten that, right? It's like when you say that, I'm not in the right state of mind, and people are like, okay, yeah, whatever. I mean, but at what point, I'm going to start with you, Anyanya. At what point would you say that someone needs attention to their mental health? Or need to pay attention to their mental health?
I'll start with one statement. There's no health without mental health. Okay? Because your mental health is heavily influenced by your physical health as well. They are interlinked. So, to just answer your question, when somebody should seek help is when you realize that all significant areas of your life, be it your work, be it your personal relationships, or just you yourself in your body, you feel something is not right. So emotional outbursts, irritability, poor sleep, poor appetite, or increase in the quota of sleep and appetite suddenly. You're always tired and you're lethargic and you want to sleep more. You sleep, still you wake up tired.
Right.
And then your body also starts giving signs and symptoms. Physiologically, you have upset stomach, or you fall asleep very often, headaches, backs and aches and pains here and there all the time. Then substance misuse, when you start using some kind of substance more than a social thinking, choice, more than just a thing. You tend to misuse it more than often. And your performance starts reducing, your productivity at work, not just in terms of your work, and also your loss of libido,
It affects it that much?
Of course.
No.
No, it does.
Because I thought people go in distress with that.
Not always.
Not always.
Sometimes for men it wouldn't work because they're so focusing on getting it done. It's not working. So the stress or anxiety or those things that come in between your personal life, your spiritual life, your relationships, your work, if all these significant areas of functioning starts getting affected, you need help.
You need help. Wow. To you, Rebecca, at what point did you think that this was an important cause to become a mental health advocate? At what point in your life did you think it became so important, or like you had the calling to become a mental health advocate?
No, I didn't know anything about mental health at first. So something happened to my grand aunt, and I realized how mental health could affect people's life. It can deeply affect people. And in Ghana or in Africa, we mostly do not talk about it. We mostly see it as a taboo, so we sweep it under the carpet. And so she lost her son, and ever since she lost her son, we couldn't get her back again. Yes, because of psychological, emotional stress and all of that. So at a point, I have to start researching on what mental health was all about. I went online, started looking for certain things that connect to what was really happening to her. Then I realized that we need to talk about it. I went online to go and search for mental health advocates. I didn't see a lot in Ghana. So I decided to become very vocal about mental health. Talk about it because we all go through it. Even at work, you sometimes you want to work, but you are stressed. You don't feel the need to work. You're just tired. You don't know what is going on. We have relationship issues, pressures of life, and all of that. So at the point where I realized that my auntie needed some particular help, I said no. I have to stand up and talk about mental health because mental health is just like any health-related issues that needs medical attention. So that was when I started advocating for mental health.
Mental health.
Yeah.
And so far, how has it been? What was the reception like when you started? And are you proud of yourself with where you got into?
I am very proud of myself. I just went off for a while, but I'm coming back strongly again because I realized that people would send me issues related to mental health, especially when Ghana Health Service post, what's the name, the statistics surrounding mental health, and people would send it to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, people are watching. Because mostly I'll post it on my WhatsApp status, and I started posting on my Instagram, educating people on what mental illness and mental disorder is all about. And so I'm very proud. I know I'll get there. But
I know you're on the right track. There's a conversation that, again, like I said earlier, it's not had as much as we need to have it. Now, for an individual who finds himself in a very difficult position, again, going through all the symptoms that you've talked about, how are you able to balance that? Because she said something very, very profound. Like, at some point when you're going through it and you don't even know this is what is happening to you, nothing is just working. Like, you don't even want to show up at work. And you don't even know why you don't want to go to work. Because really and truly what is going on with you probably is foreign to the body. How are you able to balance that amidst your stress? How are you able to balance your personal life with work?
Okay. See, for this one, I would say there's no one size fits all. Okay. For what you mean, what is stressful for you may not be so stressful for me. Right? So I would suggest, setting boundaries is very important. That this is my personal life. I wouldn't let work come in between. Work is an important part of your life. Okay, it gives you a sense of accomplishment, it gives you practical benefits of money and everything, sometimes popularity, fame, sense of purpose, but it is not an all-consuming thing. Okay, you need to separate your work life from your personal life. So setting appropriate boundaries is key. Secondly, take breaks. It's okay to rest. Okay, it's okay to take a pause. Before you jump in and say yes to every project at work, set a realistic understanding of your, what you have on the plate, and then take a pause, take breaks if necessary. Okay, I know somebody who has a very stressful job. When I asked him, how do you de-stress? So he says that over the weekend I go to the beach. And that when I go to the beach, I don't have my phone. I just go there. I spend time with the sea. So nature, connecting with nature. And then he plays football. Okay, in the beach. So what you're doing is he's weekly rejuvenating himself through connecting with nature, spending time in nature, moving his body, playing a sport that gives him joy. Okay, and so these are ways and he's detoxing or not connecting with the social media or any electronic device at that point in time. So he has set an appropriate boundary for himself. No personal, that's his me time. Do you get it? So in a way, so when you learn to set, it could be daily that you set some time for yourself and you recuperate or re-energize yourself, see how or what are some things that gives you energy and not drains you energy. For example, being on electronic devices, social media, phones or laptops, they are very draining. We say we will go back home, relax, watch Netflix, but that's draining. Once we start an episode, till we finish it, we are at it. We are not getting the rest that we needed.
Yeah.
So let's identify what are our energy drainers and what gives us energy. Okay, once we know that and we start acting on it little by little, we'll be fine.
I'm going to stay on your energy drainers and energy givers because there's this ironic situation in life that, okay, so let's say we're all stressed about money, like we need money in Ghana, right? If in Ghana, you're paying everything out of pocket, so you know you need money. But work is stressing you, and that is your energy drainer at some point. And you need to get away from this because your mental health is at risk. But you know in Ghana right now, you cannot risk not having a job. As opposed to, you know, maybe in a different setup where you can actually go and sleep at home, you probably will get some money to for the period that you are distressing. Now, money is giving you energy, but trying to get the money is draining your energy. How are you able to work that out? I mean, again, we're trying to relate the conversation to this setup we have in Ghana.
Okay, so when you say money is giving you energy, do you really think money is actually giving you energy?
Not really, but having money kind of solves the 50% of your problems.
Practical issues, yes, solved. Yes. But then we are the ones who is deciding, because whenever there's no upper limit. You know, what you need versus what you want is very different.
Yes.
So when you say that money that you need and money that you want, that is different.
Yeah.
So the stresses that you are bringing in your life with the high, increasing standard of living is of course going to be with you, what you decide. So of course here people try to manage with whatever they have. That is something that we are doing, but this is something you need to understand, which is in my circle of control. What is it that I can do? So if I am doing the work, I also need to, if I have to gain money, I have to look after my health. That's a choice I'm making. So all the yeses I'm saying, there is also a no that I'm saying to myself.
Yes.
So that's a bargain you're doing for yourself. So you need to start point some in time, decide, okay, for 7 days, if I'm doing this, 4 days I can say yes to other things, and 3 days I will have to say no to those things and say yes to myself. That choice lies with you. And if you don't do that, of course, you are the one who is inviting more stress to your life.
Yourself. So learn how to say no sometimes, okay?
Of course.
Learn how to say no and say yes to yourself, because again, in this our society, we see a lot of no's to ourselves and say yes to other people, other things. Now, for you, ever since you became an advocate, you know that your motivation was, we know now on the show that the motivation was about your auntie's situation. But after that, have you had any close situations that were so demanding, like you could realize that if you're not an advocate today, then what is about to come to an end for this person, or even for yourself? Have you ever gone through any dark time like that?
Yes.
And what was it like?
Yes, I remember some time back, someone trusted me, and because I'm an advocate, the person came to me with her issues, and I love to give listening ears to people. So I was listening to this particular person, trying to give her some sort of advice, and I realized her situation just consumed me. I was overwhelmed. And it just felt like a math equation. They've given me a question, but I didn't know the solution to the answer to the question. Everything was just messing in my head, you know. Since then, I try to direct everyone that comes to me to a psychologist. First, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just trying to create awareness on mental health, about mental health. I'm not a psychologist, so I can't. And for me personally, we all go through it. I work. Sometimes I'm stressed. Sometimes I'm in the mood. I don't want to talk. Sometimes I want to be alone. Sometimes I just don't want to get closer to people. This is what a lot of people go through. And sometimes when they go through, they are shy. They are not able to talk to people about what they go through. They are scared to talk about it. You know, so in as much as we all think mental health is not important, as we don't even talk about it in Ghana, it is very important in Ghana, and we should really prioritize it because everyone goes through it. Like everyone.
Yeah.
We all go through it.
Yeah. What do you think the myths about advocates is? Because I think I want to stay on that bit. Because everybody thinks that a mental health advocate or an advocate for something is an expert in the area.
Yes.
That's one myth. What are some of the myths around being an advocate that you've experienced that you're like, oh my God, this is not me?
Yeah. The first time I told my sisters that I want to be a mental health advocate, one of my siblings was like, "Abadan for mommy." And I was like, no, it means you even need an education on what mental health is all about. Sometimes you tell me, okay, I have this relationship issue, and you confide in me and tell me all of that. This is stress. You are going through life challenges. It is stress. It is mental, illness, mental disorder. It doesn't mean you are mad. You get it? So I started getting a lot of things from people. People started asking a whole lot of questions, and at a point, I just wanted to stop. At a point, I just wanted to stop because it felt like people didn't understand it. But when people started sending me issues surrounding mental health, I was like, okay, people are getting it. So let me just continue doing it. I mean, there are a lot of myths surrounding mental health, but I keep saying mental health is just like any health condition that needs medical attention. That's all.
I'm going to get into other conversations, but again, whilst we are on that, I want to find out from you, as a psychologist, do you have an answer to every single situation that is presented to you? Or sometimes you also get overwhelmed, like, this one, I have to go and either pray about it or go and read more about it. Do you ever get to that point?
Of course. You see, before a psychologist, we are a human first.
Yeah.
Don't forget that we are all humans.
Yeah.
Okay, we might be trained in a particular field, so we are skilled in a particular field. We gain experience every day. So not necessarily every situation we have an answer to. Nope, not really. But we work with the client, trying to solve, and we are also not supposed to give out answers like do this, do that. We are not advice givers. Okay. There's a difference between a psychologist and somebody who is giving you an advice. That's why therapy is not hanging out with friends. That is support circle. That is something that you may do addition to therapy. Therapy is where you have a non-judgmental, safe, secure environment where you feel convinced that this person is going to objectively listen and still hold an unconditional positive regard towards me. Will not judge me, and will together we may not have the solution to the problem, but what is bothering me I can pour out to that person, and then together we will look for solutions. So at the same time, therapist will help you and objectively tell you, okay, these are some thoughts. Do you see that this puzzle piece that you're missing out on is a little irrational? It's not how, there could be other ways to it. So it's throwing light onto what you don't see otherwise. Okay, so yes, short answer, I don't have solution to every problem. But we work together.
We work together. Again, because again, we've also heard the fact that some people, I recently heard that a Christian body, not, so it's not the entire Christian, like a specific Christian society have warned against seeing a psychologist because of the kind of advice that is being given them. Some of their church members come from therapy and they almost don't care about God anymore, and so some people say they're told at therapy, and this might be a myth, or this might be something that's happening otherwise in your space, but they are told that you cannot spiritualize everything, don't pray about it, go and read about it, forget about what the pastors are saying. Is that what you people do at therapy?
No, okay. Not necessarily at all. Rather, praying and spiritualism, actually spirituality and religion is different. Let me be very clear. And praying is a good coping mechanism, but praying doesn't always solve problems. Okay, so what we are trying to do in therapy is we help clients see how they are thinking, feeling and behaving, and what's connected in that. Okay, we are trying to throw light on that. We are not advocating or telling people that don't pray, don't believe in God. We are saying God will help those who help themselves. So you first need to learn to see how are you or doing or not doing things which is contributing to the problem. What is it that you can do in your circle of control that can help you? And what is outside your control, you can pray about it. That's it.
Yeah.
You know the serenity prayer. You know about it?
No, I don't.
Okay, there's a that's a very, it's actually for the Alcoholic Anonymous. They, pray for addiction, de-addiction basically.
Yes,
So they says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and courage to, change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So basically, you're asking for advice in the sense, give me the courage to change what I can do, okay, so that I can act on it, and accept things that I cannot change, and wisdom to know the difference between the two. So that is something.
The serenity prayer.
Yeah.
But I think we are ready to learn quite a lot on the show this evening, and I'm excited about our guests in the studio. But we're going for a quick commercial break. When we return, the conversation continues on mental health right here on The Dish. We'll be right back.
Every day is packed with its own surprises. You never know which thrill is around the corner.
Feel good. Feel good.
Or how it will play out. There's a sense of excitement.
Did our plane just stop? Another cash out.
That adds a little magic to my everyday.
Feels like a party tonight.
Once upon a time, in the heart of Accra, a man in his fancy car sought directions. But the Ghanaian way.
Hello, bro. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you please show me where the Presby Church is?
Oh, sure. Go straight. 10 left at the big mango tree with the broken branches with most of the mangoes falling. Right after that tree, there is a watches cellar. If you reach, ask there. Anybody will show you.
When the Black Stars take to the field, every Ghanaian becomes a coach. Why Fatika want to be dribble? The coach must go. The sacred cue for our beloved Gobe. As we wait patiently, rehearsing the perfect vibe.
Have you acted? Mami Gobe Nubi, the Kokono. One Ugarino.
These, my dear ones, are some few moments that makes our Ghana truly special.
And as we share these stories, let us also remember a plate of lele rice, connecting our hearts through the flavors of our culture. Lele rice, ye nimno free tete. This advert is FDA approved.
Still in full. This is a bosom menu.
Yeah, brand new phone. I meet me in an and I communicate. Bluetooth, infrared, fridge, dining table, cooler. You're feeling
Bibianship, what a pedal account. Why? Pelande or easily go my.
Making money shouldn't be this hard. Just reload and win cash in the Telecel More Money promo. Win daily and weekly when you reload your mobile and broadband bundles. You can win up to 30,000 Ghana cedis weekly or the 1 million Ghana cedi grand prize. The more you reload, the better your chances of winning in Telecel More Money promo.
Dial star 500 hash or opt in on the Telecel Play app for free.
Telecel, connecting energies. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Clothes. Now wash your feelings and then may I pride. Tango prime wash by my creamy up nice. Baby I need, baby I fine. Be spotless and be bright. Cast fire fabrics and it's gentle on your hands. Tango prime wash by my creamy up nice. Baby I need, baby I fine. Be spotless and be bright.
Pando. Daddy. I found a man Della Papa. You can't survive a day without me. I mean, you send me back to me, but oh, don't worry. It is on fire. Stella, I've run out of gas and today I don't have money. I have only 40 cedis on me.
Oh man, who said you need a lot of money to buy gas? You can refill any amount per your pocket. Even sell 20 cedis.
Are you sure?
Man, it's true.
Okay, hurry up. Go and fill 40 cedis for me right now.
Oh man, take the cylinder and go to the junction and refill it.
My friend, go and fill it before the network in my okra cuts.
Oh yes, protect indigenous Ghanaian businesses, save over 10,000 local Ghanaian jobs, and salvage more than $400 million local investments by refilling your gas cylinders at your nearest gas station nationwide. LPG Refilling, your affordable, pocket-friendly, and transparent choice.
How do I look? You look so gorgeous, Auntie. Thank you. I hope my date feels the same. Am I not forgetting something? Yes, obviously. Laura Mimi. Thank you. Can I use the washroom, please?
Sure. Flora disposable bucket.
You obviously are using floral tissues, my dear, because the floral tissues, they are soft and easy on the skin and they leave no particles.
Hope you had a good time.
I have fun, thank you for dinner. Are you okay? Do you want to use the washroom?
Hey, broke uncle. I'll tell Auntie.
Fat Jimmy. I just love how it feels.
Michael has been exceptional, surpassed all his targets. Let's hear from this year's Staff of the Year.
This wouldn't be possible without a strong relationship. You've been with me through university. All those days of studying together just to ace those tests, which we did, by the way. And those days of the side hustles, you were there. All of these have prepared me for this moment. Cowbell Coffee has been there with me every single step of the way.
For the big days and the seemingly ordinary, creamy Cowbell Coffee is with you every moment.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to The Dish right here on MX24. It's a beautiful evening. We're having great conversations right here. The topic for tonight is prioritizing your mental health, and I know you're excited to have this conversation and also to learn, okay? Because we're learning and growing together this year, all right? Now, joining us for this conversation, I have Anania and Rebecca. Also, Natalia Ando is going to be joining us via phone for us to get into this conversation. If you're just joining in, you made the right choice. I want to say a big thank you to DecoZone for this beautiful set to Cowbell Coffee, to Telecel Ghana, Club Shandy, and of course to you beautiful people who are watching this evening. Now let's get into it. We have Natalia on the phone, so she is just joining the conversation. We're going to go to her first. Hi, Natalia.
Hello.
How are you doing, beautiful?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm beautiful. I'm super excited to have you on the show this evening. Thank you so much for accepting to join us on the show. I know the conversation on mental health is one that you're very passionate about, and so we're going to get into that. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, for you, everybody knows you as a media personality. At what point in your career did you choose to be a mental health advocate and of course get into the technicalities of it, of becoming a clinical psychologist?
A counseling psychologist.
Counseling psychologist, sorry.
You're right. Well, I've always been passionate about it, only that I was waiting for a time when I can actually learn more about it and get proper in the area of mental health. So sometime 3 years ago, I decided to take a little break and go to school and try to, get a better understanding of how important our mental health is. Also because I find that it is an area that is very neglected in our part of, even for little things like little stresses, everyday stresses, it gets very difficult and people don't know how to handle it. So I decided I would really like to know more. But the thing that actually made me go fully into it, to becoming an advocate, is when I had to do an internship after school at a rehabilitation center.
Oh. Hi, Natalia, are you there? Hello, Natalia. Oh, I think we lost Natalia. Natalia, she was really getting into some part of the conversation that I really wanted, but we're going to get her back on the line. But still on the conversation of prioritizing your mental health. Now, for you, people have said, or there is this conversation out there that says that mental health disorders and struggles are all a mindset. You can't pick yourself up when, you can actually do it. Like, go ahead and pick yourself up, get it together. You can't do this because they think it's a mindset that you can actually work on. As a clinical psychologist, what do you think the actual truth is about this conversation?
Okay, so, for us, we are not just, we are basically nurture and nature combined, right? When we are born with a certain genetics, certain qualities, traits, which we carry forward from our parents and their parents, right? But then the environment in which we are growing up, what we are learning, picking up, our peers, school, everything around, that's the environment that we are also learning and absorbing things. But mental health issues, if there's somebody in the family who has struggled with it before, not necessarily your direct parents, anybody else in the family line, it may be something that you're carrying. It's just like, your parents have blood pressure or diabetes, you are also carrying that gene in you. But whether you will develop it or not depends on your lifestyle choices. Okay, so if a parent is, let's say, alcoholic, okay, and has been that somebody else also in the family has been an alcoholic, likely that you may, under certain circumstances, may turn into an alcoholic. Not necessarily that you will, but you may. Okay, so because in the same family, you see, yesterday I saw a very beautiful video of twins, must be around 2 years, okay. It was about, sellotape being put as an obstacle, and parent was testing whether the child can come across. So one of the twin would come and looked at the sellotape and felt it's a big issue and a problem, started crying and had a meltdown. Because he was seeing the mother on the other side and couldn't get to her. The other twin came running, looked at the twin, and then directly started holding on the sellotape, see what he can do, and pushed it down and removed it for the other twin. And when it was completely down on the floor, that's when the twin who was crying looked at the other twin who actually succeeded in going through the obstacle, was stopped crying and was like, it wasn't as big as I thought.
As I thought it was.
So what's the difference? It's the same problem, same environment. Why did the two have a different outlook? So must be it is, you know, the anxiety, it's there. In one of them carrying it, the other one has more, you know, solution focused mindset. So the mindset part that you're talking about, it's all in the mind. Yes, mind plays a role, but there's also the body. There's a chemical, what we call neurotransmitters. There's a chemical imbalance that happens when you have a clinically diagnosed mental disorder. That is not something you're just doing it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope that answers your question.
It does. It does. So it cannot entirely be a mindset conversation. You do have issues where it's inherited, and you could also have a societal effect of the effect of societal pressures that could also burden you in developing that. Now we have Natalia back on. Hi, Natalia.
Hello.
Okay, so you're telling us how you got into becoming a counseling psychologist.
Right, yes. So I was telling you how I did an internship at a rehabilitation center and how I saw the struggle that, you know, some of the patients would go through trying to get better. And I think it got me very, very interested in expanding the conversation, creating more awareness. Because one of the other things I also realized is that not a lot of people understand this. Not a lot of awareness is created when it comes to mental health.
Absolutely.
So I took it upon myself to start my foundation and, you know, help create more awareness. But the focus really of my foundation, outside of creating awareness, is also helping young women who have mental health challenges. It's very important that they get the support that they need. So that is what brought me here, to answer your question.
Right. And that's absolutely amazing. We really commend you for that. Again, we don't have a lot of advocates here. So you just happen to be a part of the few that we have that are helping build a better society. Kudos to you. Now, let's come back to the society we find ourselves in. When you started this, what was the reception like? How did people receive your education on mental health? And how long have you been doing this? If I may ask.
So I actually launched the foundation on my birthday this year, which is in February. It was in February this year. I decided that, you know, typically on my birthday, my friends and I will hang out, go to restaurants, eat, just have a good time. But I decided that instead I would channel my energy and resources into launching my foundation and invite my friends and family, people who care about me, to, instead of hanging out and just having fun, for us to come together for a good cause. And that is when the foundation was launched. I had a lot of support from some of my media friends. And, you know, it's been going. Every now and again, we identify maybe a school or a church. We go there, we give them a talk on how important it is that they prioritize their mental health. And it's not the easiest thing, but little by little, we're making progress. So I would say that the reception has been good so far, only also because we're still under a year old, you know. We're still trying to settle in and find our feet and, you know, of course, climb upwards and do more in the society. But so far, so good.
I mean, looking at the future of this conversation in Ghana, does it look promising? Does it look like we're going to get to a point where the number that we add to the world population of mental health cases, at least on this part of the ecosystem, it will reduce?
I think slowly but surely that will happen. Today, I'm attending an event at the Valley Beach Hotel. Today, of course, World Mental Health Day. I'm attending an event, and there's so many conversations that we're having around mental health. And I also have seen that a lot of schools in recent times have little offices, little counseling offices where students can access and talk about their problems, which is something that we didn't have about a decade ago. You know, about a decade ago, you wouldn't have a school, whether it's a primary school or a secondary school, have a counseling office where students can go and talk about things that are affecting them. So I would say that we're making progress. Maybe not at the pace that we would have wished we were making the progress, but we really are making progress. And also because a lot of people are becoming more aware of what mental health is and the issues surrounding it, and they are paying attention. So I think we're making progress. Yeah,
good.
We are.
Now, let me stay with you again. I have two beautiful ladies in the studio, but I'm going to let you go very soon. But let me stay with you on this one, because you're a media personality. Now, we have seen a lot of media personalities come out with foundations and what have you, but not a lot have indulged in this conversation of mental health. And people would think that, listen, what do you know about mental health? All is well and good with you. You're a media personality. You are loved. You have all the attention in the world. And so people will not look at you as someone who understands even the issues of mental health. That is one. Do you have any of your colleagues or any of our colleagues coming to you with their issues and you know, asking for help, with the exception of me? Don't mention my name.
So, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
The thing is that, you know how confidentiality is important. For instance, when you go to the hospital and see a doctor, whatever it is that is wrong with you is not information that the doctor can give to anyone, right? It's the same thing when it comes to what we do. As a counseling psychologist, when I see someone, whatever their issues are, it is against the ethics of my profession to divulge that information to anybody, not even to their family members, unless, of course, they are threatening to harm themselves or other people. Then I'm at liberty to divulge the information. But otherwise, everything that is said to me or whatever processes that people will see me have to go through is very confidential.
Okay.
And yes, I have seen a couple of people in the industry as well, especially when they got to know that I am a certified counseling psychologist. I've had a few people come to me with this and that problem. We have gone through a few things here and there. I have taught people how they can process certain things and how they can work easier to deal with other things. So, yes, that has happened. And I'm really happy that even though I'm still under a year old, a lot of people have begun to identify me as the person that is in the media industry but does a lot or speaks a lot about mental health. And I feel like that, for me, is progress. That, for me, is, you know, me in conversations on mental health, like I mentioned earlier on, me going to a seminar on mental health, me liaising with a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists in the country because they are doing something and I want to get involved. Every day I learn more. Every day I know more. Every day I see more. And that helps me grow, and that helps me or gives me what I need to help people when they come to me. So I think to answer your question, I would say yes, I've had people come to me, and I thank God that I'm able to support them. Sometimes it's beyond me what they bring to me, but what I do is I recommend other people who are more qualified to deal with the problems that they bring to me, and they go there and find the help that they need.
Love that. Any challenges you're facing so far with the space?
Well, yes, the only challenge at the moment is sometimes when we have to go out and, you know, in creating all these awareness, obviously having to travel. For instance, if I decided to go to a school that is in the northern region or the eastern region, I'm going to have to figure out how to fly my crew and everything we're going to do, and all of that costs money. So we're pacing ourselves. But I love that I have individuals and well, so far, no organization, but I have individuals who are always there to support me whenever I make decisions on where I want to go and what I want to do. And like I said, we're pacing ourselves. I'm pacing myself and, you know, growing slowly. But every day we want to make little impact, you know, because that is what will come together to make the big impact. So every day we do all the little things we can, and we grow that way.
Thank you so much, Natalia, for joining us on this conversation.
You're welcome,
It's
Mimi.
been
Thank
absolutely
you so much for
amazing.
having
Hopefully,
me.
we get you into the studio very soon to talk about other issues, okay? Thank you so much. And that was Natalia Andor, on-air personality. She's now a counseling psychologist, and she has a beautiful foundation supporting people with mental health. Come back to you in the studio, ladies. I mean, you had Natalia. Some of the challenges, I dare say that you probably have faced some of them. When it comes to going the extra mile, just leaving social media, because again, not everybody who needs help is on social media. And we advise that if you're really going through it, drop the phone, drop those other connections that are draining you. Now for you, 2024, do you see yourself going outside of the social media space to push your advocacy project?
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay, for now.
For now.
Yeah. I love that honesty, but why though?
Because of personal reasons.
Do you think that the pressures are going to be a bit more if you're going out of the social media space?
A bit.
A bit. Charlie, sometimes when you're starting some of these things in the country that is still developing, it's quite hard. Now, when we come back to the coping mechanisms, that one could adopt to go out of it, because again, we've talked about the issue being not just a mindset thing, but when you've caught yourself in that position. And I was telling you that the other day I was able to say no to other people and yes to myself. But how are you able to do that consistently so that your issue doesn't escalate?
Consistently is okay. It's a choice. You get up for your hygiene issues. After you wake up, you brush your teeth, wash your face, go to the washroom. It's a habit, right? So prioritizing mental health is also a lifestyle habit that you need to build. When you start, using these strategies, some of the strategies, let me say so.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning and before going to bed, please, no cell phones. As soon as you wake up, if you touch your phone, you're doomed. When I say that, because you're bombarding your brain with a lot of dopamine, which it doesn't want. Okay, because when you sleep, you're actually putting all your body to rest, all its systems to recuperate. Since the day you're born till the day you die, everything inside of you is working. They don't get a rest, right? The only rest that they get is when you are sleeping. That's why your sleep is important. If you don't eat, fine, but sleep. You can go on days without eating, but you can't go on days without sleeping. That is important. So prioritizing your sleep, rest, then movement of your body. The more you use it, the better it will be in use for you, or it will be able to work for you. If you don't stretch yourself, don't move your body, it will get rusty. It will break. It will start showing signs of issues. Nutritious meals for your body. Food to be used not for just taste, but for actual nutrition or fuel for your system to run. Okay, so these are some of the basics that you can do. When I say regulate your social media or digital time, it is because before going to bed, if you're into doom scrolling, you're telling your brain it's time still to be awake. You're not allowing it to rest, right? So it's not healthy. So 2 hours prior to your bedtime, start putting digital stuff away.
You're learning, right?
Right? And at the same time, as soon as you wake up, phone or your electronic devices shouldn't be the first thing you touch. You should first connect with yourself, your breath. Try and ground yourself. Okay, when I say grounding yourself, is bringing your senses, connecting to all your senses to the present moment. Saying a short gratefulness prayer that you're alive and everything is working. You still have a roof over your head. You still have some food in your, refrigerator or your pantry. So things are good. Most of the time we focus only on what we don't have. and forget about the blessings or things that we really do have. Thank God I have my family with me. Thank God I have a roof over my head. Thank God I have a place to work. Thank God I have a purpose in life. We don't look into these.
No, at all.
Exactly. So we are taking things for granted. So the more we take things for granted and consume more and not connect with it, the more disconnected we become. So that's why when we connect more and disconnect from social media, allow you use the gadget and not that using you.
It's using you. Because most of us, our gadgets are using us.
Exactly.
So would you include this as part of self-care?
Of course, of course. That is your self-care. Do you remember as a kid when you did not have this electronic device with you, how would you spend your time? How would you entertain yourself? How would you?
Connected with more people. We
connected with more people. We played with things. We made things up.
Yes.
Right? Play all the sensory stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Making up imaginative play was fun.
Yeah.
We could still do it with our kids or with other kids, connecting with pets, animals, social cause, anything that gives you joy. So find every single day a time to engage in activities that gives you joy. That's your energy providers and not drainers. Somebody may say, oh, playing games give me joy, but on the electronic device. That's
the problem is the electronic device.
So when this is gaming, it's a serious addiction. People, so like in any addiction, we forget that when these games are created by a multimillionaire organization, the more you spend time on it and continue to play, they are earning, not you.
You're losing.
You are losing on your life. They are earning. They are having a time of their life. Why do you think Mark Zuckerberg himself, who is, the Facebook owner, he doesn't use, rarely do you see him using Facebook or posting, doing stuff? But he created something where we are always on it. All these social media platforms, they are good. But we need to learn to balance them, not allow them to
alter our lives,
consume ourselves completely.
When people have found themselves in a position where I see that what I'm going through is my mental health deteriorating, I need help. But then they cannot tell someone, they cannot talk about it because of the stigma associated with it. I dare say that in 2024, maybe, just maybe, a good percentage of that stigma has dropped, but there's still a bit of it. How are we able to overcome that and seek for help? And what are some of the resources available to people who are struggling with their mental health today?
See, stigma to anything is because of ignorance. The more you normalize and talk about it, the stigma drops. Right? So it is at individual level and at an organization level or at a social community level. If everybody starts taking small steps for themselves and normalize talking about their mental health, the stigma will drop automatically. Okay. You said what the resources
that are available to
okay,
us.
so all regional hospitals, all government hospitals, then private clinics, even right now, Ghana Psychological Association and Ghana Psychology Council, they have their phone lines online. If you don't know a psychologist yourself, if you call these numbers, they will direct you to the right person or right, organized for you. So it is not someone else who is actually coming and living your life. If you want to live better, you need to go out and seek help. There's no shame in seeking help. Rather, it's courageous and it's bold and it's right. It's a sign of strength and not weakness.
I'm going to take that aspect of the conversation also from you, Rebecca. When it comes to getting help, in your advocacy, how are you able to push this agenda to make sure that the number of people, trying to get help are more from what you do?
So, like I said initially,
when people come to me for help, I mostly would direct them to the psychologist or clinical counseling psychologist because of the personal experience I had. Because I don't want to be overwhelmed with people's issues. I'm just creating an awareness, educating people. I don't want to also be suffering from what the person is also suffering from.
Because there's a high possibility of that, right? True.
So it got to a time where I have to be addicted to my phone because people are pouring in, and I realize I'm just losing. The energy keeps going down and down and down and down. So for me to just keep, you can't trust anyone else with, I can't trust someone else with someone's issue. So I have to just be on my phone. So I became very addicted to my phone.
So meaning you also suffered
I also suffered a mental breakdown.
Form of mental disorder just by listening to help.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So I would normally direct you to a psychologist. I'll tell you to go and see a counselor to talk to them about the issue because I'm just trying to create awareness about it, not to also face
not to become a victim. Now, in creating awareness, where can we get help? Who are your what do I call it? Links that we could go to if someone is watching today and they need help, because I'm going to come to you as well with that. How are you able to, who do we go to now? Like, do you have any connects, any organizations that you think are really doing very well that you direct people to go and get help from?
For me, I think I had a conversation with Nathaniel Andor some time back.
Natalia Andor.
Yeah. So if someone comes to me, I normally direct them to Natalia. To just go and seek for help because I can't do anything.
You can't do it. So Natalia, under your first plug from Rebecca. So Ananya, you said that we have quite a lot of resources out here. Any that you can connect us with, any you're affiliated to that you think you can share with us?
Equilinks Counseling and Psychological Support. It's a private clinic, so confidentiality is fully assured, and every appointment. So clients do come there, but strictly on appointment basis. So your confidentiality is completely assured. So that is in Sakomono. So we are located in Sakomono. But the whole lot of lists, if you see 37, Kolebu, Trust, then other hospitals and around. Even
Ridge.
As I said, Ridge, Greater Accra Ridge, correct. And as I said, the GP and GPC, if you just directly call their line or connect with them, they will direct you to centers where they have psychologists because they have the database. So if you need help, call them. If you don't know. Otherwise, if you're in Sakomono, or in around Tema, come to Equilinks, no problem. Call and you can.
Now, to you today, I know that you have learned. Thank you so much, Ananya and Rebecca, for joining us, and to Natalia Andor for joining us via call and also sharing your experiences with us. We hope that you out there has actually learned, because again, the statistics are crazy. They said in the next 5 years, over 250,000 people around the globe from 29 countries are going to be suffering mental health cases. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not funny at all. Let's prioritize our mental health today and do better with ourselves. A big thank you to DecoZone for always keeping this set beautiful. Betway Cowbell Coffee, Flora Tissue, Tango Washing Powder, Telecel Club, Shandy, and LPG for coming on board the show every time and making this happen. My name is Miriam Udwa-Mensa. This has been The Dish on MX24. Connect with us on all social media platforms. It's MX24 on all social media platforms. See you again next week.